It seems that the spineless dweeb is trying to buy his way back into the black community's good graces. How's it going, y'all? It's Nixus here. Adin Ross has landed himself into some serious hot water with the black community for just absolutely trashing rapper Doechii's name, calling her all types of whore, industry plant. He was trying to call her fat a couple times. It just really seemed like he didn't have a good thing to say about this woman that didn't know who he was. And TDE affiliate Glasses Malone stepped up and said, if you don't keep this lady's name out of your mouth, bad things are gonna happen to you, bro. And I'm gonna be the one to do it. Adin, of course, did not take this seriously and ran to his little baby mama, Wack 100, to protect him. Malone he stood on business. He said, Wack can't protect you, homie. I'm gonna put hands on you if you keep talking about this black woman. This is your last warning. Well, he didn't want to do that. So TDE got involved, Top Dog got involved, and they called Wack 100 and said, keep your little white boy in check or he's gonna get hands put on him. And so Wack unfortunately had to go to Adin Ross and say, I can't, you gotta keep her name out your mouth, dog. You're fucking around in a world that you don't understand, and they are dead serious when they say they will put hands on you. Not only has he rescinded on his attacks, but he's trying to give money to black businesses in exchange for their good grace again. He's trying to buy his way back into our good graces.
Try again, dumbass.
Because that's all these little white boys know how to do, is throw money at it. You pissed off the black community, throw money at it. You said some racist and vile things about a black artist and now you piss people off, throw money at it. But we're gonna react to the Company Man's video on it. Shout out to the Company Man. He's another guy who, he's another YouTuber that I've been rocking with. S tier in terms of hip hop news, hip hop media, hip hop analytics, all of that. He just put out a video about this and it says, Adin Ross lost an NBA player collab and now he's pledging money to black businesses. Oh wow, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions. Let's get into it.
They canceled last minute because their PR called. This particular PR person didn't think it was good business to show up on the stream with low-value weirdo Adin Ross.
That part. Maybe it isn't such a good idea to show up on stream with a guy who publicly and egregiously insulted and trashed this black woman. And not just any black woman, TDE rapper Doechii, who literally just won a Grammy and just did a concert tour with Kendrick Lamar. Maybe going on a stream with the guy who called Doechii a fucking whore, a fat whore, a disgusting slut isn't such a good idea. Yeah, that your PR manager did you right. I don't know which basketball player it was. It was probably LeBron. I don't know. I could be wrong, but your PR manager did you a solid, homie.
Second plus. Mike, check. Justin Hunt, it's all happening. Thanking everybody rocking with the channel. Thanking everybody subscribed to the channel, who's shared a video, shared a link. It's priceless. Big thank you to everyone who's donated. The biggest story since the beginning of the year has been people's reaction to Doechii's newest song, Girl Get Up. Fire track. If you haven't heard it, punch yourself in the face. 1 second applause. And we covered this earlier in the week.
Punch yourself in the face is crazy. But yeah, it was a great song. Fantastic song. I love it so much, and I'm still singing it. I'm still finding myself singing it today. Whenever I'm like out somewhere, the hook is catchy, okay? Shit, the shit's catchy. It's an earworm, and it's a good one because it's an inspirational one. Strong message for black females, dark-skinned females all over the globe, okay? We stand up for our black queens out here. Period, point blank, amen.
Hallelujah.
Adin Ross jumped out the window, was saying incredibly disrespectful things about Doechii that really went way past the music. It wasn't a critique on Doechii's song that people took issue with. It was Adin's persistent and consistent low-value weirdo behavior when it comes to Doechii and black women
Low-value
in
weirdo
particular.
is correct.
He was calling her all kinds of B's and and dirty bees and all kinds of stuff that's just way out of pocket. Now, we've covered all.
It would have been one thing if he had kept it strictly about the music, but no, he started attacking her as a person. He started attacking her physical traits, he started attacking her ethical choices, he started attacking her life choices, and it was just like, bro, you seem really, really upset with this girl. Like, did she do anything to you? What does she do to hurt your little fragile man baby ego? And then when you get checked for it, then it's tell Glasses to get off my pee-pee.
Adin Ross actually went live, I guess this is yesterday, perhaps the day before, and he talked about how he had a major dinner, a major live stream set up with an NBA superstar that had to be rescheduled at best. So let's take a look at what Adin says here.
I had a good trip. I got to eat some dinner with Los. I want to let you guys know I had a stream plan with a very famous basketball player. It canceled last minute because
they canceled last minute. They canceled last minute. 1 second.
Good, bitch. Since you want to go around calling people bitch.
Period.
Let's hear the reasoning.
I want to let you guys know I had a stream plan with a very famous basketball player. It canceled last minute because their PR called. So just with everything going on, so we got to give like 30 days. But
they canceled last minute because their PR called. The PR did not think it was a good idea for whoever this NBA basketball player is to sit down and stream with Adin Ross. And I talked about this in my previous video on this. It's called Low Value Weirdo Gets Checked, right? Because
yeah, I did watch that one. I love this label, by the way, that he's put on him, Low Value Weirdo. Somebody needs to turn that into a diss track. That's gonna be a diss track name, Low Value Weirdo. It rolls off the tongue. Somebody make a diss track. Somebody hop on a beat and make a diss track called Low Value Weirdo. And it's gonna be about him, it's gonna be about DJ Academics, and it's gonna be about Wack 100.
To the point where you are now disrespecting people in other communities, doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down to continue to fight for your right to disrespect other people.
And that's interesting that he says right, because in my last video, I did say that yes, you are protected by the First Amendment. That is your right to freedom of speech, religion, and freedom of press. What the First Amendment does not protect you from, however, are the consequences of exercising said freedom of speech. What do I mean by that? If you go around calling people slurs out in public, and they call the police, and you get arrested for calling people slurs, or if you go into a black neighborhood and you start calling everybody slurs and you get your ass shot. Yes, you practice your First Amendment right, but what the First Amendment right does not tell you is that you are still liable, you are still susceptible to consequences for abusing that right.
And that community pushes back. This is some of the ramifications. This is the ramifications of this. I love this, right? This is essentially what Glasses Malone was saying. Glasses' point was he was gonna press the people around Adin for making Adin feel comfortable enough to be disrespecting women in our community.
And that's another thing that I will give Glasses Malone so much props for, is holding the people around him responsible just as much as he was holding him responsible. He could have just targeted his attack and focused his attack on Adin specifically. But no, he said, I'm going to press the people around you who enabled you to be able to feel like you could sit there and disrespect black women like that. I am going to hold them accountable just as much as I'm holding you accountable for your actions. He said it's equal opportunity. I don't care if they're white, black, whatever color. He said I'm holding them just as accountable for their lack of action as I'm holding you accountable for your egregious action.
Disrespecting our community, period, right? And it looks like from this is at least one repercussion from Adin's action last week.
Yeah, that's one repercussion that we know of. There could have been more that he's just not telling us. But as far as we know, this is the first of many repercussions. This is the first of a slippery slope of repercussions for his heinous actions.
At least in this one instance, at least in this one situation, this particular PR person didn't think it was good business to show up on the stream with Low Value Weirdo Adin Ross. 1 second applause. Let's see what he says next.
Off season will be good. I'm gonna stop coming at people hard and shit. But it's, you know what's funny about the guy? We called. He's like, yo, Adin, like, you know, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, I fuck with you. I actually like that you're vocal. I'm not gonna say who it was, but he was just like, I got you. Like, let's wait till.
Did you hear that? He was like, he low key, don't tell nobody, but He said, I don't give a fuck what's going on out there. I like that you're being vocal about it. So he's really trying to like set this person up as an ally of his. He's like, I fuck with you either way. That's another enabler right there. He just exposed them. He exposed them. Adin, shut your fucking mouth, bro. This is what he does, though. This is a calculated attempt. He is like, if I'm going down, I'm taking all you motherfuckers with me. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. That's what he's doing right now. But he's doing it very sneakily, very underhanded. It's not plainly obvious, but just in that short clip alone, he has already made his intentions clear. Just in that. He didn't have to say that. He could have kept that shit to himself. But this is how he keeps people engaged. Through controversy, through drama. He didn't voice who it was specifically, but he seeded out that little bit of information that, oh, he's a famous basketball player that I was gonna, have a stream with, but he told me, I don't care what happened. I don't give a fuck about you being racist and vile towards a black woman that doesn't know you. I still fuck with you. I like that you're vocal. I like that you're being a degenerate piece of shit online. I like that you're speaking out. Speaking out for what? Exactly. Being vocal about what? And that's the problem, is that these people have no morals and no values to stand on. All of their ground is sinking sand. They have no foundation. And so when Adin inevitably falls, all of these people that tried to play both sides, that tried to, that whose loyalties were flaky, they're all gonna go down with him.
Now, there's a few other things that have taken place. Wack 100 was caught by TMZ outside, and they asked him about squashing the tension, or at least telling Adin Ross to chill out. Okay, so here's what Wack 100 had to say about this.
You squashed the situation with Adin Ross and TDE a little bit.
Well,
you kind of had to step in. A lot of people are talking about this.
I got a call from up top. Top Dog called me. So once Top Dog called me,
serious, yeah.
Yeah, once Top Dog called me, because he knew I had some type of relationship with Adin one way or another. So when he called me, I just texted Adin. I said, bro, I got a call from up top. Respectfully, let's ease up off of her.
This just shows you how malleable his loyalty is. He didn't initially tell Adin to hop off. He didn't try to figure out what was going on so he could squash it. He just immediately assumed that Adin was in the right, called Trap Bradshaw a fucking clout chaser, called him nobody, and immediately took Adin's side. And so when he got pressed by Trap and Glasses, he tried to act like, he was just looking out for him, and he tried to place himself as, the righteous person in the situation. So when he did understand the context of the situation, instead of being like, oh shit, I fucked up, I made a mistake, my bad, I didn't realize it was that bad, he doubled down on his stance and didn't make any attempt to call Adin and be like, bro, this is more serious than you realize, step off. It took Anthony Top getting involved for him to be like, okay, I gotta tell him to back off. Look, listen to what he said. He said he texted Adin Ross. He didn't say he called him. He said he texted him. So he wasn't even man enough to get on a phone call and tell this man vocally, hey, Top Dog got involved. You need to step the fuck off. He sent it in a text message. Spineless coward. Just a ripe old Uncle Tom.
We also covered the conversation that Wack 100 had on No Jumper with Adam 22, where he said,
you listen to who he's been associating himself with. He's been associating himself with the likes of Adin Ross and Adam 22, both of whom are relatively toxic streamers in the streamer space. But, Wack he's already shown who he aligns himself with.
Chasing kicks in that. Adin ain't said shit since that day, been about 5 days. All the talk is still from the so-called street dudes.
It's not so-called. They're not so-called street dudes, my nigga. They are Crips. They are Crips. Glasses swore on 7th Street Crit that if Adin did not stop talking, he was going to put hands on him. He swore on Olivia. Was that his mom? I think it was his mom. He swore on the dead homies that if Adin did not shut his mouth, he was going to put hands on him. And you want to still act like you're better than them just because you aligned yourself with white streamers. Okay, Uncle Wack, go on then, sir. You's fine the way you is. Bending over for your white zaddy. Keep bending over, Wack. We're gonna go ahead to
donating
this
to small businesses in the community. Here's what Adin had to say. Let's take a look.
So I'm gonna explain what I'm doing, chat, because a lot of people think I'm not doing this because I'm racist. I'm just trying to prove a point here. That these
Well, you are. I mean, you sat there and said Glasses Malone needs to go take care of his kids.
That
and
part.
his baby.
That part. Oh, I'm not a racist. People who aren't racist don't need to go online and tell people that they're not racist. Adin, I'm not racist. But you really did just sit there and racially stereotype this man because he pressed you for talking shit about this woman. He said, stop being a misogynist, racist piece of shit. And your response was, you have multiple baby mamas, go take care of your kids.
Idiot.
I don't know that you have kids, whether or not you have kids. I don't know whether or not you have baby mamas. I'm just going to assume that because you're black, you have 4 or 5 baby mamas and you don't take care of your kids. What do we call that? That is called racial stereotyping. And who are the only people who do racial stereotyping unprompted? Racists.
His reflexes are extremely Confederate.
That part. And you gotta understand that wasn't scripted, what he said about Glasses Malone. That's what he says when he feels comfortable. He thinks all you black people out here, all you rappers, all you, rap affiliates, that he assumes that you all have a bunch of baby mamas, that you all have multiple kids that you don't take care of, that, you're all behind on your child support. That's how he views y'all. And he views black women as little more than sexual enticement. That's why he's so mad at Doechii. He felt personally slighted because he's got some weird fetish for black women, like all closet weirdos do. When they don't want to accept something that, they're interested in, they go against it. Prime example, the loudest and most egregious homophobes have almost exclusively been closet homosexuals. The most egregiously racist white women have almost all been proven to have sexual fantasies about black people. Prime example, an ex-friend of mine, her grandmother recently passed. She was a racist piece of shit. And what did she find when she looked through her grandmother's attic after the woman passed away? Black gangster erotica.
Oh, there it is.
And BBC dildos.
Hey, yo!
I think the situation speaks for itself.
people that want to fight so hard about certain shit, why don't you guys do anything good for where you come from? I give it 100.
That's another one, assuming that we don't do anything to help benefit our community. We literally just had the TDE concert in California. They have the TDE Christmas concert every year to give back to their community. They perform for free. They donate clothes, food, anything to their underprivileged communities. They are constantly giving back, but that never gets put in the news. They never pay attention to that shit. People going down to, the communities and donating money to charities and schools, small businesses to give tuition to kids who can't afford it so that they can become something great. They don't talk about that on Fox News. They don't talk about that on CNN. They don't talk about that on ABC. But you wanna know what they do talk about? Oh, some nigga down the street killed somebody in broad daylight for no reason. Guess all black people are the same, huh? Guess all black people are like that. Oh, this rapper has 5 baby mamas and he's behind on his child support. Guess all black people are like that, huh? This woman just got a BBL. Guess all black women are like that. These Negroes down here just fucking shot up a school. Guess all black people are like that. Guess they don't like their own communities. Guess they don't give back to their own people. Guess they're all just self-murdering savages.
Expose him! Expose him!
And you wanna know what that goes back to? That's the same shit that they said about the Native Americans before they slaughtered them all. But we're the savages. Okay.
Right here, he put the racist in air quotes, and it's now making assumptions. That
and you know what they say about assuming? You make an ass out of you and me.
Glasses Malone and whoever else he's talking to doesn't do things for his community. This is what I mean when I say these Confederate reflexes come out effortlessly.
Internalized prejudice, just automatically assuming based off of demographic that they don't give back to their communities. And he said, I'm gonna prove a point. So when he says, I'm gonna prove a point, he's literally saying, since you guys don't want to help your community, I, the white person, am gonna do it for you to prove that white people are superior. That's the undertone in that. I'm going to give money to these people that I'm going to assume that you're not helping. Because when I do it, it's an act of goodwill. I'm being a good person. I know that the news outlets are gonna pay attention to my donations. I know that my donations are gonna garner headlines. That's how much they care about me because I have money and I'm white. Are y'all seeing this? This is dangerous behavior. And this is why, honestly, he needs to get checked. He really does. But you know, the media's still gonna spin it. They're still gonna try to spin it on they're still gonna try to spin it on Glasses. They're gonna be like, oh, well, he shouldn't have acted like that. Well, I don't know, Adin shouldn't have called that woman out of her name. And Glasses asked him more times than he should have, honestly. He kind of gave Adin a little too much grace the first couple times, but all he did was say, bro, stop talking about that black woman. And what was Adin's response? Fuck you, you're fat, nobody likes you, you're a simp, she won't fuck you, you probably have 4 or 5 baby mamas, go take care of your kids. That's racist! He may as well have just called him the hard ER. He may as well have. But that's the price of being a good person as a black person in this society. That's the price of standing up for your own. You get slandered and smeared and racially profiled, and you get called a victim. Literally the other day, I was on Threads explaining to somebody why black people took the N-word back as a community. And in my incredibly intellectual and a completely unbiased thesis statement, some random asshole called me a victim. And didn't even provide good points as to why he thought I was a victim, only to then find out that he didn't read the entire statement that I put. He only read the parts he wanted to and made assumptions based off of that small out of context piece of information.
You stupid bitch!
You conveniently missed the part where I said I don't care if people say the N-word, because it's not about the word, it's about the power that you put into it. It's about the intent that you put into it, as all words are. But no, you didn't want to see that part. You would rather cherry pick and fucking zoom in on whatever fits your narrative. This is why we can't have intellectual debates around here anymore. They resort to name calling, they resort to physical violence, and in people like Charlie Kirk's case, they resort to murder. And rather than speak about their feelings and make their, actually put their thoughts into words, into respectful forms of debate like a fucking adult, they just want to throw name calling out. They would rather turn into a bunch of first graders and then play victim when they get called out for their behavior.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
So go and support Justin's channel. Because he makes amazing content, is always well informed, always has the receipts to back it up. When I'm reacting to news, I don't go to Twitter because Twitter is a cesspool right now. Twitter is a vile swamp of just the worst aspects of humanity. And it's starting to bleed out into other forms of social media. And this is actually the start of a war. People have gotten a little too comfortable with being racist again. And so history, unfortunately, is going to start repeating itself unless we put a stop to it. That's not me being a victim. That's just me calling a spade a spade. That's me calling it like I sees it. But as always, I have been Nixus, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.